Hello viewers, welcome you all back to our channel. In today's video we are going to see how to build a project planner or a Gantt chart on your own. You can find multiple templates available in the market, but in this video you will learn how to build something from scratch on your own. This video has three sections. First section is for UI development, second section is for formulas, and third section is for the final touch-up. In case if you are watching this from in between, I would recommend you to watch from the beginning, and you can find links of other two parts from the description box. Please stay connected till end of this series, and don't forget to provide your comments, and please subscribe to our channel. Thanks for the support. Now let's jump into the content. Okay, welcome to second part of this video, and this video has a first part, that is the UI preparation. So this is outcome of our first part. In case if you have not watched the first part, I will be giving the link in the description box. Please watch the first part and follow along from that. Now let's jump into the core part of this video, where we are going to write formulas required for this Gantt chart. Now here we have activity and sub-activity. Let's start filling one sample data for this activity 1 and then sub-activity, okay, or is activity 1. Now I have to write a planned start date and planned end date of this. Let's say this task is supposed to start from 30th April 2022 and end by 6th of March. Let's say, sorry, 6th of May 2022. Let's have this for now. Now let's play around with the conditional formatting. So first thing, we are going to plot a conditional formatting for weekends. That is, we are going to highlight the weekends. Now I will tell you the formula for weekends, and the formula is weekday. So 30th April, it's a Saturday, and we are going to use this formula and we are going to see what it returns. Weekday of this date. Just check what it returns. Okay, it should be returning. Okay, I don't want date, I need a number. It returns number as 7. 30th April, Saturday is marked as 7, and let's see what it gives for Sunday, weekday of this. It gives 1. So we are going to use this formula, and we are going to mark any value or any days that has 1 and 7, then it should be marked as a weekend. So let's start writing our first scenario for weekend. New rule. I'm going to use the formula, and let us see. We have to use some basic thumb rules before writing this. I will tell you what all those thumb rules are. First one, always the formula that you write in conditional formatting should return either true or false value, otherwise your formula will be invalidated. And then we are going to expand this formula for a wider range, but for now let's write this formula just for only one cell. I will show you how to expand this for others. New rule. I am going to use a formula should be equal to or. So what it says, weekday, formula is weekday of what? Weekday of H5 equal to 1, comma, weekday of H5 equal to 7. So if either of this match, then just mark it in or highlight this in gray. Fill color, I am going to use gray, and pattern I'm going to use, okay, we can use white color for the pattern, and we can use a shade just like this. So I'm going to strike out anything that comes on weekend. Now this formula is applied only for, okay, H7. Let's apply this and let's see if this gives us the result. Good. 30th April is a Saturday, and so we got this cell alone shaded in gray. Now we have to, before we expand this formula, or before we expand this conditional formatting range to other columns, we are going to make slight modifications to this formula. See, if you look into this formula, we are referring to the reference H5, and when you drag this, or when you apply this formula for the adjacent cells, this H5, there is a chance of this H5 to point to the next value, that is H5 should be pointing to I5. Okay, so only then you will be able to see the results in I5. Then when it goes next, it should be J5. Point is, here 5 is going to be constant, whereas the column value is going to modify. So H$5, whichever part you want to keep as constant, just apply dollar in front of that. That is to lock the reference. Cool. So H$5 equal to 1, or H$5 is equal to 7, then shade that in gray color. Now I am going to apply this till F is set. Okay, so let's see. And it should be F is at 205. Just press colon, you will be given like this. Remove this, instead of H put F is at, and then it should be 205. That's it. Once you apply that, okay, so now you can see the conditional formatting applied completely for all the weekends. 30th April and 1st of May is a weekend, then 7th of May and 8th of May are weekends, and then the same way 14 and 15. So that gives you the perfect result for the weekend. And you can see this you can see this highlight, the cells highlighted till 205. Okay, I think till 200 should be fine, so we can modify the range. Just go here and modify this till 200. That should be fine. So now we are done with the first section, that is weekend. Now we are going to highlight the current date. So what color shall we give for the current date? Let's give yellow color, because that gives you a distinct visibility. Now if the date is equal to current date, then highlight that. Again, keep the cursor on H7. See, your formulas might go mad if you keep the cursor on any other cell. Always keep the cursor on the first cell where you start plotting your data. Just keep here and then go for new rule. Okay, is equal to which one? This H5 equal to today. It checks if this value is equal to today. And here again, you should not lock H always, because your formula should be applied on all the columns. So remove this so that it keeps referring to H5, I5, J5, K5, L5, all the dates. It keeps referring to all the dates dynamically. And go to format. Let's fill that in yellow. And pattern color, I'm going to use white. I'm going to use now So this rule is now applied for the first one. Same way we are going to expand this rule for rest of them. Just press colon, it gives you this entire range. Now you can just mark it as f is at 200. Now this is clear. So today's date is highlighted in yellow color. Rest all dates are fine, absolutely fine. Let's do one thing. Now let's make small change to our data set. Instead of starting from 30th April, let's start this from 2nd of May. I hope you are clear with the first two markings. One is the weekend marking and the yellow ones are the today's marking. Now we are going to go for planned duration. Now this activity is planned from 2nd of May to 6th of May, and this activity has not started yet, so actual start date is empty. Now we are going to apply the new rule. Use a formula, and the formula should say that H5 should be less than or equal to planned start date, greater than or equal to planned start date, and less than or equal to planned end date. It's going to be like this, equal to or condition which H5. So always I'm referring to H5 here. $5 is greater than or equal to this one, that is C7, and then so here again C should be constant, so I am going to just write $7. Okay, sorry, we can have it as $C$7. It should be $C7, because so that it keeps referring to new dates available in all the rows. See, the dates are going to come, these dates are going to come in row wise, so it should be $C7, comma $5 is less than or equal to, it should be $D7. Now let's close this formula and go to format. Let's use blue color. We can use blue color for this. Yeah, I'll go with this blue. Let's see, this is the planned duration date, and we can give some colors like pattern colors as well. Let me select white and give pattern color as this. Let's see if this works. Okay, unfortunately I've made a mistake. I think I have applied the conditional formatting on top of this cell. Okay, that's the mistake. It should have been applied to H7. Agreed, it should have been applied to H7. It should not be on C7, it should be on H7. H7 to $F is at $200. Let us apply this. Something went wrong. Okay, something went wrong. Let's see. So when I have actually changed the reference, see, the references got modified automatically. That's where it goes mad. It should be modified back to H5 $C7, and it should be H5 and $D7. I think now it should be fine. When H5 is greater than or equal to C7, that's 2nd of May. Okay, all good. Come on. Okay, let me modify this a little more. Instead of R, let me apply and okay, so that's perfect. Instead of R condition, I have used uncondition. So what it says, this date, okay, so H5. So for the first cell, I'm just explaining. For the first cell, H5 is greater than or equal to C7. 30th April is greater than or equal to C7? No. So it turned to false. But when it comes to 2nd of May, that is J5, it compares J5 is greater than or equal to C7. Yes, that's equal. Okay, so it starts plotting from here and it ends the plot at 6th of May. So that's how it works. So now claps for us because we have completed 3 conditions. I have made one mistake last time, that is I have not kept my cursor on the first cell, that is H7. Instead I have applied the condition by keeping the cursor on C7. Now let's write the next formula, but let's keep the cursor on top of H7 and let's start writing the formula. Go to new rule. Now we are going to write a condition for actual completion date. Okay, new rule, use a formula. Let's see, and this should be for actual completion and formula, and it should start from H $5. So this H5, date H5 is greater than or equal to this one, E7. Okay, it should be $E7, comma H5, it should be H$5 is less than or equal to F7. If any one of this matches, then if both of them matches, then mark this completely in green color because that's the completion status. Let's give solid green for this. Okay, and now it's applied only for H7. Let's do one thing, let's apply this for till F is at 200. Okay, perfect. Now let's apply this. See, now it will not take part in anything because we don't have the actual start and actual complete date so far. Let's start filling this. Let's give actual start date as 3rd May 22 and actual complete date as 5th May 22. Okay, so now we got the green color, but it should not be the shaded green, it should be the solid green. That happens because it executes the second rule also. Second rule also gets executed automatically. So let's do one thing, let's move this above, or we can do this alteration. Let's see. Okay, this worksheet, okay, it should be the other way, same way like how we have started. Now I'm going to add one small condition. See, what I expect is, let me apply this change first of all and I will explain you. What I expect is a solid green here, but what I get is a shaded green. That's because we have these two rules getting overwritten. In order to avoid this, let me add one more condition, that is this should execute only if we don't have the actual end date. Okay, or this should not execute beyond actual work date. Let's try this one first. Only when actually end. Now problem is we will lose okay, let me cancel this. Let's keep this. Let me select OK. We'll make the modification in a minute. Now before moving on to our next rule, we need to fix one issue, that is this overlap. Actually here we have the actual start and actual end date, so and we are expected to get the green band, solid band, instead of this shaded band. In order to achieve that, just make the change that I suggest you. Just go here and select stop if true for all these things. Just check what happens if I select stop if true. Now you got this rule executed and there is no overlap, so that's good. Let's also apply this for others as well. I have applied stop if true for others. Now we have to consider the delay scenario. So the first data set, that is very simple and we have managed to complete that in ease. Now let's go for the second data set. Let me add the new activity 2, and let's name it as sub activity 2. Then plan start, we can have it from 3rd of May. And planned end, we can have it till 6th of May. Let's say actual start is from 4th of May and actual end is till 10th of May. So here this task is supposed to complete on 6th of May, but it went on till 10th of May. Now the problem is, yes, it looks all fine, but we have to highlight the delay. So two things, we have to highlight the delay and we should not overwrite this. We can. Let's start this. Let's start writing the new rule. Now in order to how to highlight the delay, we are going to write the same things, but we are going to add one more condition. And okay, before going into the new rule, we should not forget the basic, that is keep the cursor here. New rule, use the formula, and so you should start from H5 $5 is greater than or equal to this value, that is actual start date. So it should be $E7 comma $5 is less than or equal to $D7. Right, now it should okay, so we are covering up to the completion part. Now we have to check if this is also greater than the planned end date, comma $5 is greater than this one, planned end date, that is D7. So this should be E and F less than or equal to F7, and you also should mention that H5 is greater than D7, $D7. Let's try this by applying red color. I'm going to choose red color solid. Okay, so it's now we have to expand this. Currently it's applied only for H7. Okay, let's expand this till F is at 200. F is at 200. Yes. Now this looks much better. See, now we have one issue here, that is our holiday should not get overridden. I will try moving this upward. Let me see what happens. Okay, so now this looks perfect. This activity is expected to start on 3rd of May. It actually started on 4th of May and it is delayed up to 10th of May. So till 6th of May it was under the the planned window, so we have marked in dark green, and 9th and 10th of May we have marked in red color. So that's clear. Now let's go for the next one. See, now we need to move this as well upward. Let's have this below. Okay, still it has not appeared. There's some issue with this today rule. We will check that. So now we are done with 5 rules and we have one more rule. Okay, so now we are going to do 2 things. I have shifted my start date to 27th of April. I will tell you the reason why I have done this change. Now it started from 27th of April. Now so first thing that we have to fix is the today's date. See, now it's 30th of April, but the date is not highlighted here. So the change I am going to make here, just move this above. That's it. Today's date gets highlighted automatically. Now we are going to write a new rule, and that rule is going to be in progress. So we have written a rule already for planned item, then completed item, then late completion item. Now we are going to write a rule for in progress item. Let's go to new rule, use a formula. So first let's fix the thumb rule, that is click on top of the first item, that is H7, new rule, and then select this. Now see, when a item will be in progress, when it doesn't contain actual end date but it has the actual start date. So now we are going to write the formula like this, and uncondition. First condition is you should not have the end date, that is sorry, it should be F7, it should be $F7 equal to empty. So the first condition applied. Then second condition, we have to plot it from actual start date till planned end date. So the date $5 is greater than or equal to actual start date, that is E7. It should be $E7, and then $5 is less than or equal to, that should be planned completion date, that is D7. $D7. It's little tricky. Let's see how it works. And I'm going to mark this in purple with a pattern color, that is a shaded pattern. Let's see how it works. Okay, we don't have anything here. Now let us start adding the data set for this. Sub activity 3, let's mark start date as 28th of April 22 and the completion date is 5th of May 22. So that's the planned date. So now we got the blue bar. Now what can be the actual start date? Let's mark it as 29th of April 2022. Okay, so we are expected to get purple here. Let's see what's happening. Okay, problem is it's still applied for H7 alone. Now let us expand this. H7 to F is at 200. Let us apply this and let's see what's happening. Okay, good. So now let us move this down and lock the formatting. So now it's perfect. This blue color indicates that it is planned to start on 28th of April, and purple indicates that it is started on 29th of April and it is expected to go till 5th of May. So I hope you understand this. Now we are going to write one more rule, and that is to highlight the delays that happened in progress item. I'll show you how to write that. Okay, so now we are on the last rule, that is to see the delays in progress item. So let's introduce a new data set for this. The data should be like this: activity 4, sub activity 4. Then let's say this activity starts on 28th April 2022 and this is supposed to end on 28th April 27 April to 28 April 2022. Right now but let's say this happened started on 28th April 2022. Okay, so this is actually in progress. Let me go to manage rules. Okay, I'm good. Right, so now I'm expected to see this activity is started on 28th of April, but this activity has not completed till date. So I have to highlight the delays happening in this activity. So let me write the new condition like this: new rule which says equal to, and so what are the things we are going to consider? Okay, again I forgot to click on the top cell. New rule, use formula, and let's focus on the formula again now. So what it should say, the first condition is equal to, and the first condition is it should be a in progress item, which means that F7 should be empty. $F7 equal to empty, comma. Then the second condition is this item should be in progress, that is actual start should not be empty. $E7 is not equal to empty. Right, now we have to start plotting from, see, till 28 purple color is fine, but beyond 28 it should not be purple, it should be red color. Now how to plot this? So this should be, the date should be above expected completion date and it should be below today. So H5, it should be H $5 is greater than expected completion date, that is D7. It should be $D7, comma, and it should be less than today's date. H $5 less than or equal to, okay, let's put it as less than today. If this is the case, then give me red color with a pattern, with a shaded pattern like this. Let's see what happens. Let me apply this and then let me go to manage rules and expand this till f is at 200. F is at 200. Right, so there you go. Let's slightly rearrange this. Let me bring it down and put this condition. So all good. It is expected to start on 27th April. It started on 28th April. Okay, so it's expected to complete on 28th April, but it started on 28th April and it is yet to complete till date. So you got the shaded red color. So now we have written, let's see how many rules we have written so far. We have written up to 1 2 3 almost 7 rules. We have written 7 rules and this is the sequence of rules. Okay, so I hope you understood this. Now we can beautify the sheet and we can close this completely. Okay, so before we move on to the beautification part, I have noticed one small bug in this. That is, when we mark let's say 27 April and 28th April here, it is expected to plot the data in blue color because they just have the planned date alone, they don't have the actual date, but it's plotting the data in purple. Now to stop this, let me just go to the rule again, select this purple one. So we already have a condition that if 7 should be equal to empty. Same way, let's also add a condition that E7 is not empty. $E7 is not equal to empty. So once this is added, yes, now the issue is resolved. So now we are all done completely, and let's get into the final touches and beautification part.